Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. Welcome to another episode of Freedom Fridays. We're so happy that you're here for us because we are in store for an amazing treat today. We're going to be talking about optimizing energy and focus for the busy woman. And first, let me just share with you before I introduce our amazing special guest to you. What is the purpose of this show? The purpose of the Freedom Friday show is to support you as an entrepreneur in achieving your business and life harmony success because it really is two sides of the same coin. We never want to get so busy making a living that we forget to make a life. And it is possible to work smarter, stress less, strengthen our relationships, and lead with much more energy, ease, and momentum so that we can increase our calm. You see my sign back here, it says keep calm and live aloha, our confidence, and our client and cash flow. I want you to give a warm, amazing welcome to our special guest today, Miranda Meyer. Miranda, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be a part of this and yeah, excited to dive in.
Yay. Okay, perfect. Well, let me let them know a little bit more about who you are. So, Miranda is the founder and owner of Real Functional Healing. She has a clinical background and over 15 years of experience in functional medicine and nutrition. And after holding various positions in the medical field, she realized that there is a better or there had to be a better approach. She was seeing a system of sick care, not health care. So, real functional healing exists because its founder believes in that health should be personal. Miranda works with women navigating chronic health challenges, exhaustion, ADHD, anxiety, and the kind of overwhelm that comes from doing everything right and not feeling like yourself. She offers both one-on-one and group programs, functional labs, and customized meal planning for clients, and her goal is to move women from feeling tired, foggy, and confused to energized, educated, and empowered. Oh my goodness, Miranda, I love this. I love this. Thank you so much for your service to the world.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, first, I want to know from you, like, why is this topic something that's so important, especially for those of us who are entrepreneurs?
Yeah, a lot of this, it is my career and my business, but it's also a passion project for me. As somebody who's been a business owner for many, many years and came from more of like a corporate healthcare background where I experienced a lot of the burnout and, overwhelm and things that come with that. This is a lived experience for me that I'm now working through with women and just basically teaching what I've learned through lived experience and through 15 years in the field. And I just think that it's so important because there are many times in my journey where I felt like I was falling through the cracks. And I'm here to catch the women who are feeling the same, that they feel like they're not getting answers, they're being gaslit, they're being dismissed, and they know there's something else out there for them. They just may not know what it is yet.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Can you share with us, like, what are some of the common challenges or pain points? Like, how do you know? Like, it's so easy to like fall through the cracks and not be aware that we're falling through the cracks, and then we're like, oh my goodness, we're falling through the cracks, and then it's like it's this new level of awareness. But what are some of like the common challenges or themes or signs that we should be looking for to support us in transitioning into this?
Yeah, I think common signs and like pain points that I hear a lot in the
Mhm.
clientele that I work with. The body is this really amazing machine and it gives a lot of signals when things are off. And our job is just to listen to those signals and to sort of assign meaning so we can make some appropriate changes, right? So, signals that I often hear from women who are in this sort of overwhelm and burnout is they just feel like they don't have the capacity for much. Like it doesn't take a whole lot to tip them over the edge. Like a background sound or, a what should be a normal conversation with their spouse or their partner. It's just like all of these little things become very triggering for them. They just feel like their bucket is totally full. It's constantly overflowing. These little things are setting them off or like tipping them over the edge, right? And a lot of times it's really looking at the capacity issue for these women. Um, Oftentimes they're feeling really foggy, like they just feel not as mentally sharp. It's more difficult for them to get through tasks that are, imperative to their business operations. So they feel like they're just kind of like trudging through mud. Like everything has become a lot slower and much more difficult. And, the mental fatigue thing is really big. A lot of these women are physically tired, but a lot of times their bigger pain point is I hear them say, like, my brain isn't what it used to be. Like, I'm losing words, I'm forgetting people's names. Like, I lost, the point of this conversation midway through a client call. And these are big things for women who are running a business, who are running a team, who are trying to balance work and home life. They just don't have like the bandwidth or the capacity to be in all those places and be present.
Oh, that is so good. I'm so glad I asked that question because it's something that's so common, especially as there's life is ever evolving, ever changing. There's always these new things. So anything that can come and add to it, it kind of creates even more of that capacity and bandwidth issue and challenge. Um,
Absolutely.
oh my goodness, I love that. One of the things that was coming to mind as you were talking was that um you mentioned, like, the mental piece, like, a lot of times there's, like I can't remember names, like, the brain fog, and what I've
Mhm.
learned, even on this journey too, a lot of it is the heart fog as well. Like, like, the
Yeah,
passion or the, um how can I say? Like, because they've been in it so long, it's created a lot of emotion, so it feels like even a heavy heart as they're doing all these things, right? There's a lot of things to do, but how do we wanna be while we're doing it? That's what's really making all the difference. Okay, cool.
sure. I love that. You're the first person I've ever heard use the term heart fog. And that's so resonant, right? Because, maybe they had passion, but when the nervous system and the body are just so overwhelmed, yeah, that definitely impacts the heart space as well. So I love, love, love that you like came up with a term for that. Like that's so resonant.
Love it, which is the beauty of having these awesome conversations. So thank you for bringing that to the forefront.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we know, like, what are some of the common challenges, and a lot of you who are listening, this is almost like we can normalize that limited capacity. We can normalize, operating in this way. And what's really cool is Miranda is supporting us in being able to look at it differently, right? And have a different way of being. So, what are some of the tips and strategies, or something that you can be able to share from your wisdom that can support us in optimizing our energy and focus?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first big points I work on with my clients is just reframing mindset, right? And really realizing that, brain issues don't start in the brain. Mental health doesn't start in the mind. Like these things start in the body, in the nervous system, in these different physical systems. And yes, absolutely, they impact the brain and mental health. But if we're only looking at like chemically rebalancing the brain and treating with these different therapeutic modalities and medications, I'm not saying those things don't have their place. I'm saying we're missing a big part of the puzzle. So that's where I start with a lot of women is just kind of reframing that mindset and talking about like, okay, what do you have the capacity for? What can we do? And really narrowing it down to where are we going to get the most bang for our buck? What are the basic physical daily changes that we could be making that most women are not doing that are going to get you feeling at least a little bit better relatively quickly? Because as we feel better, that's motivation to keep going, right?
Correct.
So, some of the first areas I look at with women is I look at the fuel supply. Like, do they have a steady fuel line to the brain? Because the brain runs on glucose, which is blood sugar. Those terms are really synonymous. So, are they eating breakfast? What's on their plate? Are they getting enough protein and fat and fiber, the stabilizers? How often are they eating? Are they constantly skipping meals? Are they working through lunch? Are they living on coffee and, snack foods and lots of sugar? Fixing the fuel supply is just such a foundational thing because you don't want your brain going through the day experiencing this as fuel, no fuel, fuel, no fuel. And that's what happens when blood sugar is not stable and when we're not eating in a way that stabilizes that fuel supply.
Oh my
So that's one of the foundational things that I work on. And it's a simple concept, but most high performing entrepreneurs, executives, business owners I talk to, they're not doing it because they're not prioritizing it and they don't realize how much it's impacting their brain function later in the day.
This is so powerful because it's like, you were saying, like, okay, fuel, no fuel, fuel, no fuel, like the car, you get filled up, it empties out, like, but it's about
Absolutely.
really being able to have that expanded, consistent capacity, right? And it's
Yes.
almost like thinking what came to mind was like, how sometimes we want to expand, grow, not expand, expand, grow, not expand. It's almost like this synonymous thing with capacity. Um,
Yep.
And it was interesting because I think about nature, right? And nature, a tree doesn't just come out and be like, "Oh my goodness, this is too overwhelming. There's so much stuff to do. Let me go back into to the ground." It comes out, it grooves, it expands this capacity naturally to be able to receive more and have that beautiful ebb and flow. And I love that you highlighted that it starts really, it's not necessarily that internal thing. Because I think about um a lot of people that I know, it's like, okay, well, let me go to the doctor and get a pill. And I'm like, okay, well, first let's see what's going on in the bigger picture, because it could be a symptom of something that we just need to address, or release some emotions around it, release some of the weight or unconscious weight around it. Wow, this is so powerful. Okay, so first one is reframing the mindset and really paying attention to that fuel system.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then it's kind of hitting on those few other basic pillars. Like most of the women I work with who are again like business owners, busy working mamas, they're not getting up and moving throughout the day. I have this term that I use frequently where we've become, even women who are working out daily, we're active couch potatoes. We get up, we work out for 30 to 60 minutes, and the rest of the day we sit. We sit at our desks, we sit in our car, we sit on the couch, we sit at the dinner table, and our bodies were not designed to be that sedentary. So I always look at again capacity. What can you do? Do you have time for an hour walk? No, great. Do you have time for a 10-minute walk a couple times a day? Yes, awesome. Where can we fit that movement into your pocket of time so you're not just sitting for hours and hours and hours and hours? Because that impacts blood flow and oxygen flow and other areas that also influence the brain and its function.
This is so
We also
powerful. Oh, go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
listening.
thank you. We also look at sleep quality. Most of the women that I work with are not getting sufficient quality sleep. Even if they're in bed for 7 or 8 hours, they're having difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep. So, looking at things like sleep hygiene, circadian rhythm, like getting them into a better habit and routine, and really prioritizing, like treating their sleep as sacred. Like, no wonder you're tired the next day. You're waking up every hour. You're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning with this cortisol surge, and you're absolutely wired. What do we need to back up and look at that happened during the day, the previous day, that caused that shift? So, looking at those things is also paramount. And then stress. Like, what can we do to regulate your nervous system? Do you have time to meditate for an hour a day? Great. If not, cool. Can we start with 5 minutes of some deep breathing? What can we take off your plate? What can we delegate? And a lot of this just comes from individualization. It's having conversations with these women, it's listening, it's understanding what they have the capacity for here and now, because you can't just put everybody on the same program. And if you're giving them 50 things to do and creating more overwhelm, like what good is that doing?
Correct. It's like adding to the pressure, not taking the pressure off, which is why I love at another level living. We're all about taking the pressure off to be able to increase the capacity. There was a couple of things that you mentioned I just wanted to highlight that were so powerful. This part about movement, you know, I when I was studying, I got my PhD in human computer interaction. And so that was like human computer interaction, human connection. However, I realized that there was this big disconnect between human interaction and connection.
Hmm.
And that a lot of times, even spending all the time on the computer, back then it was like 14, 15 hours a day on the computer, is taking a toll on. So, like we highlighted this before, like sometimes, a lot of times, it's this external stuff that's going on that is causing the impact. And this part about how sitting at the computer, like all of these, being surrounded by technology that impacts our sleep, our stress, our inability for our mind to be able to focus and shut down. And it's something that's so subtle, we're not even aware of it, right? Even our
Yeah,
holding our smartphone like all the time can actually weaken our natural energy.
absolutely. Yeah, it's and we're in baby stages, right? Of really being able to study and scientifically understand the impact because things have adapted and changed so rapidly in the technological sphere that our brains and our bodies have not caught up.
No,
Like,
they have
we're not this is
not.
evolving way faster than we are, right? Like, we're just starting to maybe sort of catch up, but yeah, we weren't built for this, and I think it is, it's wise to have more conversations around, what does this look like and how is this impacting our health, both physically and mentally, with this much computer time and this much access to technology?
Yes, and what you're talking about, even by supporting that winning of the inner world, then we're able to better navigate how we interact with it, make those choices on how to shift. So therefore, we have more harmony. It's not like taking over us. We get to be able to be in control of how we interact and how we do those.
Absolutely. And look, I run a virtual practice, so like I can't get away from the computer time, but what I do try to do is, I wear blue light blocking glasses, I take breaks from the screen. I have a wind down period at night that's screen free. And I have some clients that are like, I can't get off my phone. I'm like, well, do you need to plug it in across the room so you can't reach it from your bedside table and read a book? Or yeah, anyway, it's just a lot of it's about just shifting habits and making these slow, steady changes, right? So at least your brain gets periods away from the screen and
Right.
away from the blue light and just gets those breaks from technology because we need time to ourselves. We need to be able to go inward and we need human to human connection that's not through a screen.
Correct. So oh, I love that. Okay, so we got 1, 2. What is there any other tip or strategy that you could be able to share that can support us in stepping into this increased energy and focus? These both first 2 are so amazing already.
Yes, I am a huge fan of getting testing done. I'm a big fan of labs. And, I love the sort of car mechanic analogy there, where like you would never take your car to the mechanic and be like, look at the outside of my car and listen to the sound and diagnose what's going on. Tell me what's wrong, right? No, we talk about what's been happening and then they actually get in there, right? They get underneath the hood, they look at what's going on the interior of the car. And because we can't dissect a living human being, at least we're not there yet in this time in technology, right? Labs are really used for looking at what's going on internally. If a client is telling me, my physical energy is really low, I have a really hard time getting out of bed in the morning. I've tried the blood sugar changes and I'm, sleeping 8 to 9 hours and I'm still waking up feeling like I got hit by a bus. I want to know, is that your thyroid? Is it another sex hormone? Is it your cortisol levels? Is it your iron? Are you low on B vitamins? Are you low on vitamin D? There are so many things that can influence our physical energy, our mental energy, our brain function, our chemical balance, our gut health, right? Labs are really useful for narrowing it down and saying, hey, you have this symptom that could have 100 different causes. Let's look for the patterns in the labs to narrow down what those causes most likely are so we can get to symptom resolution and to your goals faster.
Goodness. Perfect. Okay. Labs.
Yes.
Great. The
And
power.
get a practitioner who will walk you through those labs. I think it's very important that clients understand what's going on in their bodies. That's very empowering. And also, a lot of doctors are very dismissive. Like, how many women have heard, oh, your labs are normal? They're like, I don't feel normal. I'm having all these symptoms.
Nice. Okay. How can this is just so incredible already. How can we continue this journey with you? Do you have like a free gift or something that you can be able to share with us?
I do. Yeah. I always love to offer a free 30-minute clarity call. They can have, the chance to sit down, have a consultation, really talk through what they're experiencing, what their pain points are, how they want to feel in, the next 6 months to a year, because things take time. I'm always very upfront with clients that if you feel better tomorrow, great, but there's no guarantee there, right? It's a process. But it just allows us to really go through and they can ask questions and, hopefully get some clarity and really decide if something like this could be a good next step for them.
Oh my goodness. Oh, perfect. What a beautiful gift. And thank you so much for offering it. We'll make sure that we'll
Absolutely.
put the link to that in the show notes. So make sure everyone that's listening, go ahead and click on that link and schedule your time with Miranda. I know you're going to be so glad that you did. This is going to get even better as you actually have one-on-one time with her. Based on everything that you shared with us, what would be the biggest takeaway that you would like to leave us with today?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is, just realizing that you are not broken and it's never all in your head. It's never just anxiety. Like you have such an amazing capacity to take this into your own hands. Your body has this amazing capacity to heal. It just needs the tools to do so. And I think that's really important that we're having these conversations and that we're in community and that we feel supported because you don't have to walk this journey alone and just know that there is access to a lot of resources. We just sometimes need to know where to look.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
sharing your wisdom today. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure to be able to have this conversation with you. Everyone who's listening in Another Level Living Land, we want to hear your biggest takeaway too. So go ahead and put in the comments below what is your biggest takeaway from Miranda's message. And if you were given the gift of optimizing your energy and focus, which I know that you have, go ahead and share this episode out and give someone else that gift as well, because now is the time for us to be able to increase our capacity to love, to live, to receive, to have fun, and absolutely achieve another level of living. Thank you so much for again for blessing us, Miranda, with your wisdom and your presence. Everyone in Another Level Living Land, let this message marinate from now into your mind, body, heart, and soul. Take action and get Miranda's free gift. And we look forward to seeing you again next week for another episode. Bye, everyone.